What's good? Welcome to First String Podcast presented by Bet Rivers. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to First String Podcast. Don't forget to give us a good thumbs up. Hit the bell to enable alerts for new content just like this. On today's episode of First String Podcast, we have the one and only Mike Callow to come. We're going to talk a little hockey. We're going to talk a little baseball. Wait, that's not what's important. What's really important is Dan Snyder maybe looking at some Fed time. Deron Payne gets the franchise tag. Carson Wentz gets cut. Bobby McCain gets cut. But Dan Snyder is the main topic for today. Y'all know what time it is. It's time to get into it. Let's go.
Ready for your beats? Our first song from the person.
Welcome back to First String Podcast presented by Bet Rivers. Make sure you guys download the Bet Rivers app or go to www.betrivers.com. You know you must be 21 years or older to play. Again, like I said, thank you guys for liking and subscribing to the First String Podcast. We got a lot to cover. We got Mike Callow for an hour. We got Mike Callow for an hour. So let's bring in Lady A. How are you, ma'am?
I'm doing wonderful. I heard some news today. Probably not what you think, but I heard some news today that made me happy.
You heard news today that made you happy.
Yeah.
You want to share?
So there's a certain guy in Washington. His initials are CW, and he got cut. And I've kind of been wishing for this for a little while.
Right.
My guy needed to get in position.
Okay. Okay. I got you. We'll talk about it. Let's bring in our guest today, Mike Callow. How are you, Mike?
Good, guys. What's going on?
Hey,
We
Mike.
are good. Listen, Ant is following directions for Siri, and he told me Siri had him somewhere in Oklahoma. I don't know how you don't know your way home, but he says she keeps rerouting him. I don't know. Says taking care of a bit of an emergency. He'll be back. He'll be fine. We are good. We would like to say hello to everyone in the chat. And I got a sneaky feeling that Bruce has been in our text chats again.
Probably.
All right. So Bruce said hello to everyone.
Hello,
right.
Bruce.
Yeah. Hey, Bruce. Bruce is a P1, man. He's down for real. He said Deron Payne got tagged.
Yes, indeed.
So Lady A texted us that at like 5, so Bruce must have got woken up by that text. All right. Sounds like Dan needs to be put in jail.
Uh-oh.
Yes. Is this the CW you're talking about? Carson Wentz and Bobby
You
McCain?
know, isn't that funny? Same initials.
Right. Leonard Fournette gets cut by the Tampa Bay Bucks. We didn't have that one, but we knew about it. The DC Defenders are 2-0. Yeah, they are. To start the year real nice. LeBron James to miss a few weeks with a sore foot there. Yeah, he cost me my parlay. I had a real good parlay, and he decided to come down to Dallas and win.
What you mean he decided? That's what his plan was.
He decided to come to Dallas and win. You ruin my parlay, you sit down for 2 weeks. All right.
You know what?
Hey, Mike is going to get us on this one. Mike is going to get us up to date on all of that. We got Kyle back in the building. Kyle's been missing for a little. Yes, we miss Kyle. He said the Defenders run run DC. Yes, they do. Shields
Yes,
up, Kyle.
I
Shields up.
agree.
Shields up. Lady A will be there. So then Droopy's in the
Oh,
building. He said good evening to everyone. He said he's been on a losing streak. And then
aw.
my favorite guy right here, Mr. Don Wilson's in the building right here. Hello, you play to win the game. He's
Mhm.
talking about LeBron James right there. You
Yeah.
play to not mess up picks. That's what you play for. Everyone plays to not mess up picks. Okay. All right. Before we get into the serious stuff, I think I should do this. I really have been tempted to do this. All right. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. All right. We're gonna play a game for about 5 minutes with Mike. If you guys see, Mike has a serious hat collection back there, right?
Mhm.
We're gonna play fact or fiction hat game with Mike. All right. I'm gonna start this off. Once I start it off, then that Lady A will go. I'll put the link to get in here. You can come in. You can do a fact or fiction with Mike about his hats. All right. And then you're out, and the next person's coming in. All right. All right. So, Mike.
Yes.
All right. So, fact or fiction. Okay. All right. Is it true you have a Taylor Heineke type deal? Every time the Nats win, you go colorway with the team that they beat.
That's fiction, but I bet you I've got enough to get through like 3/4 of the teams. So I could do that. I think I could do that. I think I could pull that off.
All right, Lady A, go for it.
All right. Fact or fiction? You always wear your hat forward, never to the back or side.
Mm-hmm. That's fact. Fact. Always forward. I used to be backwards, not anymore. It's, you get over 30, you can't do the backwards hat thing anymore. I'm sorry. I can't pull it off. I can't pull it off.
All right, so
Understood.
I'm gonna let the next person in. The link is now in the chat. All right, I'm gonna hit you with another fact or fiction.
All right.
Is it true you have a budget for your hat game?
That's a fact. You do have me on that. Yes. Fact. Absolutely.
There's a budget for the hats. All right, great.
Yep. I mean,
Lady.
it only exists because of one obvious reason. Is because I went overboard at some point. So yes.
Okay. Lady A.
All right. Fact or fiction? You have more red hats than anything.
Ooh. I have to say fiction only because I have so many other colorways. Like, don't get me wrong, the whole first row up here is like all red.
See?
But I think I have so many of the other ones, they're outnumbered. Only by like I bet you I have almost it's probably that or navy blue. It's either one that or navy blue. Gotta be.
Don, you get in here. The link is there. You get in here. You ask Mike that question yourself. All right. Okay, Mike. Fact or fiction? You have in your hat collection every NFC East team that we beat.
Like actual logo. Like
yes.
You think I own a Cowboys hat or an Eagles hat or a Giants hat?
Nope.
Right.
Absolutely not.
That's straight fiction. That's straight fiction. Okay.
No. I only, when it comes to NFL, I only have Washington hats. When it comes to MLB, I dabble in a few of the other logos, but it's almost, I'd say 98% Nationals. Gotta be
98% Nationals.
Actually, let me lower that. Like 92% Nationals, like 6% Orioles, 2% everyone else.
Okay. All right.
I got a good amount of O's.
Okay, great. Lady A.
Fact or fiction? You prefer fitted hats over snapback?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Like 9 out of 10. I only absolutely buy a snapback unless it's not made in a fitted. 100%.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. There's certain ones that you can only get snapped or like one will sell out and you can only get it. I'll take the hit. I have but I don't really care that much, but I do prefer fitteds. Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. Mike's hat game is probably only second to, I don't know. All right. Last one for me, and we'll move on. Fact or fiction, Mike? You sleep in your hats, and your lady has to take them off your head.
That is fiction. As much as you want it to be fact, that is fiction, 100%. I will say this: there's always like the pile by my bed, though. You know, when you just come in and you lay it out, and then those have to be moved back to the shelf. You know, at the end of the week. That's what happens.
Yeah. When you lay it out, hey, listen, you can't have a serious hat game and not match it up with the shirts and the pants and the
100%,
shoes.
man.
It's got to be laid out all right.
Yep.
All right. So it looks like Don's not coming in here. Don said, ask Mike, what's his most expensive hat?
Ooh, that's a good question because retail, they probably all are around the same, but sometimes other ones are worth way more.
Oh.
Hold on. Give me a sec here. Trying to think like what is probably worth one of them that's worth like the most.
There he goes.
There's a couple.
Don
so people love the Wizards colorway.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
like
in the Nats. Like so like ones like this and like this style too.
Oh yeah,
with like a little bit of copper. Like gotta get the under brim there too. And yeah.
What's your favorite brand?
So everything's New Era.
Okay.
But you got different shops.
Right,
my bar none favorite shop, I'm sure Toothpick, you see me tweet them a million times, is Hat Club.
Hat Club
is my go-to. But actually lately there's a company, I'll give them some love. Hat Dreams. They're over in PG County, and they've just started pumping out W's in like every colorway. Like a couple weeks ago, they had a Mardi Gras collection, and they've got local like DMV artists like designing their colorways.
Where in PG?
Oh, we might have to get with them.
I want to say, I'm trying to think of the mall. I can't remember what the mall is over there. Like, is there Forestville? Is there a mall over in Forestville?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
We got Dump Truck Don's in the building here. So Don,
look at this hat.
Look at Don.
See, if you're gonna step into the hat game, you got to have some real hats.
Look at Don. Don said he got a hat for you.
I got hats upon hats.
I can't rock that.
Why not?
You know I can't pull that off.
Bullshit.
Whoa, Don, family show.
I'm sorry, family show. Right. Dude, you can rock a fedora, man. I wish I could grow a beard like that. I would. Oh, you just don't understand. Fedoras are where it is, man. And
I'll take your word for it.
My question is, what's your most expensive hat?
Oh, he just.
So I just did it, but I basically go with anything with the Wizards colorway with the Nats.
Most expensive?
Yeah, that are worth the most probably. Like,
how much is it?
Like everything retails at like probably $60 around then. But if it sells out and then you have it, they can go upwards of like, I've seen them go crazy, like $200 to $300.
Yeah, I have to.
200.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
All
and
right.
I got like 9 of these joints.
Don's hat game is crazy.
There you go.
Don's hat game is sick. So
way more stylish than mine.
Huh?
Way more stylish than mine.
Dude, you can pull these off. I got different colors and all that stuff, man. And trust me, you just need a fedora, a wide brim joint on. Yeah.
Mike, if you do it, Mike, please send us a picture.
Oh yeah,
will do.
Your first fedora, definitely.
You guys get the exclusive.
Yes.
You got to order from this company, Straw and Wool.
Straw and Wool. Got it.
2 guys out of Phoenix, Arizona. They make these. These are one of a kind. Ain't another one like it in the world.
Oh.
So yeah.
Shouts out Straw and Wool. All right, Don.
Yeah.
Hey,
here's another guy who needs a hat. His head is too big, and all you see is forehead.
All right, Don. We appreciate you. Thank you for jumping in with us.
Hey, Don.
All
right, Ant.
Thanks, Don. Later.
Whatever.
All right, Ant will join us. Ant, we heard Siri had you out Arizona or something like that. I don't know where she had you at, but we glad you found your way back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Everybody's good, man. So
What's
great.
happening?
So we just played Fact or Fiction Hat Edition with Mike. So now let us jump into the news of the day. All right, so let's start at the beginning. All right. Last night a report came out that Dan Snyder was asking for, I'm gonna try to say this word again, ambiguity
You got it.
Ambiguity from if he sold the team, he wanted ambiguity from anything that could come after. And everybody was like, why does he need that? More than likely, we need ambiguity from you,
Right.
King of Petty, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Don, get in the chat, Don. We cannot hear you. You're backstage, so get in the chat. I'm not bringing you back. Funny. All right. So he needed ambiguity, right? And then this morning, what happens is an article drops that Dan Snyder had a loan of $55 million without asking his partners, the FedEx guy, though the other three minority partners who had a 40% stake in the team. Mm-hmm. He got this loan from Bank of America, right? And now Bank of America is trying to figure out, everybody's trying to figure out how did he get that loan without his partners knowing. Mike, clear this up for me because I'm
I was like, you're jumping around a little bit.
Right.
Basically, It boils down to this. When you're in the NFL and you're an owner and you want to borrow money, you have to get approval from your board. And your board is the other minority owners. Mm-hmm. So Dan borrowed $55 million without telling his partners.
Indemnity.
Yeah.
I said ambiguity. I said ambiguity. Yes, indemnity. Yeah.
All right.
Right.
But that's illegal. That's fraud. Like we are talking, right. like that's a federal crime that he committed if it's true. But we have to kind of rewind this back to 2020. Remember when the name got changed when they got rid of Redskins and they went to Washington Football Team? Mm-hmm. It was because of like the social pressure and the advertisers. One of them was FedEx, who I forget his name, something Smith. He is the CEO there. So like he was self-pressuring essentially. But what this all came down to was because they found out he did that and they went to Goodell and said, this dude just borrowed $55 million from under us or, without our approval. What are you going to do about it? And so that is what led us down to Dan buying those partners out and then getting 100% control of the team.
Yep.
And it's important to note this, that Goodell was told about this and sided with Dan. I don't think enough people are talking about that. That Goodell is complicit and it's not illegal what Goodell did. Like he's not taking the loan, but he did take the side of the owner that did do something illegal and shut out the other partners. When that happened and he told the partners, oh, well, we could buy you out. He then gave a valuation of the franchise of what it was worth, what they thought it was worth back then, which I think was like $875 million to pay him out. Now, all that we've heard is like this franchise is going for like $4, $5, $6, $7 billion, whatever it is.
Yep.
That doesn't add up, which means they should have gotten a bunch more money. Either way, though, Dan did something highly illegal, if this is true. And we're talking like federal crime here. Like this could be the thing that actually puts him away if it ends up being true.
Now, before that, let's even take it back a little further. Let's go like another half a day backwards. All right.
Sure.
To where Jeff Bezos was being pushed out or not allowed to bid on the team.
Yeah.
That was in a private auction though.
Right. But he's still not allowed to bid on the team. Now, do you think that he wasn't allowed to bid because he would scare other people off, or because he just detests, or Dan just detests Jeff Bezos that much where he's not going to let him do it, or he just wants to drive the price up so Jeff then comes in and saves the day, buys the team?
This one's complicated. I think overall Dan does detest Bezos. Like, let's just get that out of the way. Like, I think we all know he hates him and he would rather him not own the team. That being said, though, money is money. Like, if he happens to pay the most, I couldn't see why Dan would turn him down. I will say the timing of it's weird. I think they're trying to, like, I think Dan and his party are trying to hold Bezos out as long as possible so they can get as much high bids as possible from other people. Because here's the thing. When Bezos says he actually wants the team, he's going to get it. He has more money than literally anybody, right? Like, they're trying to hold him off because it actually benefits the league overall for this franchise to go for as much money as possible, not have people pull their bids back because they go, oh, crap, Bezos is here. I'm not even going to try to get my money, all cashed up or with my partners or whatever, they're trying to hold Bezos off as long as possible. So when it comes to 6.4 billion and he bid 6.5, that is the highest actual amount that they could get it, because the league wants all their franchises to be the most valuable. After us, it's going to be the Seahawks. The Seahawks are going to go up for sale. Once that family gets all their stuff settled out, they want them to go for a lot of money too. So
but nobody know if Jeff Bezos is in the league already. There's not a lot of people that are not coming from overseas, and the NFL has rules that stops that from happening. Sure. That can spend money like Jeff Bezos can. So once he has a team, if he doesn't get this one, he'll say, "Hey, I'll see you guys in Seattle in a couple of years."
Yeah. No, so, I mean, that's for sure.
And the fact that Dan's not getting this number is the other part that we're missing here. And I'm gonna mess this name up. Fatata? No, it's not Fatata. You say Fatata. It's Fatata. I messed it up.
You did.
Right.
But is there a special bond between Bezos and Washington? Is there
Jeff Bezos? He moves the market in DC. He is the one that could get the Commanders back on the RFK site.
Is he? No, you know what I'm saying?
No.
He owns the Washington Post, and he also moved part of his headquarters to Virginia. This area as well. Okay. So he has, roots here. He has other businesses here.
That makes sense.
He also moved into the city proper. Like he bought out like a whole, I don't want to call it a block, but like a half block of row houses to just make it into one giant house. Like he moved into the city, and now that he's based here, that's why everybody's linking him to the Commanders.
One more thing here.
Makes sense.
One more thing here. Ant is the other mystery bidder because he has a minority stake in Amazon.
He's partnered with
Bezos.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Good to know.
They were only talking about Jay-Z, but that's because Ant was like real low key.
Got it.
Real low key about it because he's a Cowboys fan.
Y'all just gonna keep doing that, huh?
Well, hey, we gonna do it till we sit in the owner suite with you.
There you go.
I'm trashing the whole owner suite.
Hey now.
Hey,
you wouldn't trash your own business, would you?
That's what drunks do.
That's what drunks do.
That's what drunks do. They get mad and they throw stuff. All right, so really with this all of this news happening today and the combine going on, and owners are at the combine now.
Yeah.
Are we having a meeting that's not happening behind closed doors about, hey, you think we got those votes? Because they can set the agenda and have a meeting anytime that they want, because they are owners. They don't have to have an official meeting, but they could literally have a meeting at this weekend to take this team away from them. Or they can wait, 2 weeks until their owners meeting in Florida?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? I don't think they want to take the spotlight off the kids that are out there in the combine. But after this news spread today, and it wasn't just local news, this was national news this morning at 7:00.
Mm.
Like, I've read that long article, many, many, many words. And they were like, hey, what are you doing? Man, you just don't understand what's happening here. No, we're focused on work. Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. This is really going down.
Man.
Fair time. How much time you get for $55 million? Anybody?
Who knows that? Who's supposed to know something like that?
Hey, nobody knew. Not even my boss who told me to stop. So,
see, what I think too is what's happening. Like, so they don't have to vote him out because he's already selling, right? But I do think this is, as I said, I don't think there's a motive behind this one. Like the source. I think this is just straight up reporting, or the prosecutors in Virginia. Like, this just came to light. I don't think this is Bezos, putting this out there or whatever. But I think what it does do is the league can actually just go, if you decide to pull the ball back and not sell, we now have a very good reason to vote you out the next time that we have our meeting together. Almost like we didn't need to actually have much to get to vote you out. But now we might really have something that would get 24 out of the 32. I think it's 24 out of 32 owners.
Yeah.
So
there's a third option as well, right? And the third option is, the first option is he sells, right? The second option is they vote him out.
Mm-hmm.
He's borrowing money and spending money and charging the team for things like putting the logo on his private jet and charging the team $4 million for it. Like, he does not really want anyone to see the books, because it seems like Dan is broke or going broke really fast, which I have to say, great job to all the Commanders fans for holding your water and not going to fill up the stadium. That's a great job by you guys. And if he continues to own the team, I think we should continue to stay away.
I think they will. I think that they would probably be, it would be really, really bad.
I don't know, Lady A. I've seen people on there talking about what seats do you have, right? This is before he came back and said he if he doesn't get his price, he's keeping the team. So you've already made that investment to buy those season tickets, right? You're going to lose money now. People don't like losing money, especially in these days right now.
Well, but that didn't have anything to do with what Nike did either. I just think at the end of the day, the fans, they help a little bit, but I mean, they didn't control the name change or any of those things.
Indeed.
I think,
remind me to come back to that name change thing in a minute.
But I also believe, though, like, whatever they really want to do to put the pressure on, talking about the NFL, they ultimately have the power to do it. And so I believe that had a lot more to do with this, all of this being really triggered, is them finally being like, okay, we got to really put the screws to him. He didn't come out with any fake information, or, he didn't do a tell-all expose or something. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, you're just treading water at this point. Let's get him out of there.
Yeah, so, but see, that's a yet. He has threatened. Let's keep that in mind.
So there was one name that most fans wanted when the name change was coming, which was the Red Wolves, right?
I like that name.
Most is strong.
I would say 55%.
Red Wolves, Red Hawk. It wasn't Commanders. I can say that much.
Yes,
right,
correct. It was not Commanders. I think we all know that.
But the name Red Wolves is actually owned by a college team, right? Which, if you have money, you may have been able to say, "Hey, let's share this logo, right? And we will pay you so that we can use it as well." We'll, everyone has a price. $1 Million Man said it. Ted DiBiase. Everybody has a price. So name your price. I'm going to write this check, and now we're both sharing this name. But they said, hey, we can't use the name Red Wolves because there would be laws and we have to pay and blah, 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 blah. Now we know that Dan is borrowing money illegally, right? We know now that there's a reason why we wound up with the name Commanders. There's a reason why things are on the cheap. There's a reason why he's selling his home. Maybe he still can't pay the taxes on that thing, right? It's pretty expensive to fill up a yacht. That thing has like 100-gallon tank on it.
No, this is not just a yacht. Let's be real about this. You said it's pretty expensive to fill up a yacht. This is not a yacht. This is a super yacht. This is like a cruise ship. This thing it's massive.
So
and he only got it because Ant's best friend down in Texas decided he was gonna get
that's what I was gonna say. I'm like,
big boat.
Jerry has one. He's like, oh, let me get one. It's
right.
really silly.
Yeah, but that's what is being said is now he's using the team as his personal piggy bank to continue to live this lavish lifestyle.
Yes.
And what they say, the rent always comes due. And that's why we are now the Cincinnati Bengals. And if y'all don't understand what I mean.
Did you lose your train of thought and then you just said, bump it, I'm going to say we the Cincinnati Bengals? Because I didn't get that rent is due reference at all.
I was like,
okay,
what?
let me tell you. Let me explain it to you.
The rent is due. He got paid up.
The rent is due. But when you play for the Cincinnati Bengals, back in the day, it may be different now. You had to buy your practice jersey, like high school type deal in the NFL. And you had one practice jersey. You don't believe me? The next time we have Doc on, ask him.
I don't know. It ain't that I believe you. I'm just like
the Cincinnati Bengals was they were run like a high school team in the NFL.
Yeah.
hey, here's your don't ruin this. You go in, you sewing it up. It was terrible. Like the Cincinnati Bengals was like the bottom of the NFL, and it's like we're like that now because our owner is cash strapped. And
I would say the difference here though, we don't play that poor, but I will say at some point they stopped spending in free agency. And like, remember that? I think people still joke about it today. It's always like, oh, he's going to go to Washington because he just wants to get paid. Like that hasn't been the case here since Hainsworth, maybe.
Bruce put a stop to it.
Yeah, Hainsworth was a good player though. I'm not going to
lie. For who?
He was a good player. I'm talking about in general.
Oh, in general, not for us though. He wasn't.
Yeah, I'm not saying for y'all, but I'm like, he was a big, powerful, strong guy. Like, you know.
Yeah, he was talented, and you know.
And he was dirty, but you know, whatever.
Okay, so but
that's right. Let's go back. On your dude's head. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go back a little bit though. Let's not glaze over the biggest thing. Roger continues. He keeps getting caught up sweeping something that Dan did under the rug.
But that's what he's supposed to do. He's the bullet sponge for the owners.
He's being the owner fanboy at this point, and it's not cool. Like
he works for the owners. What part of this don't y'all understand?
But you cannot. He also can hold an owner accountable. He can.
This is the NFL, not the NBA.
He can, and he won't. That's the problem.
The commissioner that holds people accountable works for the NBA.
The difference, though, is in the NBA, every owner that's gotten outed definitively did something, right? Like Sterling was caught on tape. The dude out in Phoenix was partaking in all of the office stuff, right? Cuban didn't get in trouble because Cuban wasn't around, but he cleared house, right?
Yeah, he did.
With Dan hasn't been implicated. There's been some like insinuations, and there's the plane ride that nobody talks about because they settled out of court. Like, this was actually concrete evidence, minority owner saying he did something illegal, and Roger said, we can buy you out. That's fine.
Yeah.
But also still, and here's the other part, is Dan asked for that Mary Jo White investigation not to see the light of day.
Right.
So
like he asked for the wrong thing last night.
He knows that shoe is about to drop, and he's like, please don't tell anybody. So literally, a little bit before we got on here, I was listening, and they said things should start happening here in the next 24 hours, and we should know more about Dan. So my phone will probably be going off, and your guys' phone will be going off as soon as I find out anything. And I'm for sure going to be tapping into Mike because Mike had to talk about it all day with Bram. So Now let's move on to some other stuff that happened for the Commanders. Carson Wentz and Bobby McCain have been cut. So Carson Wentz being cut saved the team $26 million. Bobby McCain being cut saved the team about $4 million. So one person was 2-9 as a starter, and the other person tackled people in defense of himself. Wait, you missed that part.
We heard.
He would get run over, and they would give him credit for a tackle, but he is a pretty solid slot corner.
What does Carson count against the cap coming up?
Nothing.
0.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
No dead money. No dead money.
That's beautiful.
No dead money.
Mad at that.
I'm
that's
glad
how you do it.
Did that. I'm glad they did that. That was like the only smart thing they did. But honestly, I was shocked that they brought him over. But if you're gonna bring a man over, at least just do it this way. That way we can cut him after this first year. And actually, the amount of games he played last year also played a part.
Yes.
So
because it would have been a second round pick had he played 70% of the snaps, which he didn't get to that because of him being hurt and because of his poor play. And so here's the thing that gets me. My man made a ton of money over the last 3 years, and every team that he's been with has cut him after 1 year. $89 million is what he's made in the last 3 years.
That's crazy.
For terrible play. Mike?
That's crazy.
Why did it take us so long to realize that he was not it?
I mean, I think everyone circles those first couple years with the Eagles and just hoped they could get half of that, right? Because I think it's always worth mentioning with Rivera's Washington teams. All we've been saying is we just need a quarterback, not a great quarterback, just a solid quarterback to get the ball out of his hands into all of the skill position players we've got. That first guy was supposed to be Fitzpatrick, gets hurt literally the first quarter of the season, whatever it was. Then it's Heineke. Heineke was on, his sister's couch. The story's great, but he's not the answer. This time around with Wentz, I think they were just hoping, hey, if we can get just a sliver of what he did with the Eagles and what he did at FedEx Field, because he used to kill us at FedEx Field. If we get a sliver of that, all of a sudden we're cooking with gas. And what's funny with Wentz is you kind of have to think about the games he actually played. When the script was thrown out, he actually turned into a better quarterback. Like that first week against Jacksonville, they went down by a lot. And then they just said, we need you to sling it up to Dotson and McLaurin. There's two great passes, and they end up coming back and winning. The Lions game, he wasn't protected at all. Second half, he threw for like over 300 yards. And I know, like, I get it. Like the defense was playing soft, but he was still slinging the ball around. Then the Bears game happens, and he looks like garbage, right? And he gets hurt, doesn't play. They'd go to the 49ers game. They're losing, but all of a sudden, he's throwing the ball out real fast. He's hitting his receivers in stride. Like, he looked pretty good there. That's exactly what we needed. Yet when he was the starter and entrenched, he just sucked. Like, the Browns game, I don't think I've ever seen a worse quarterback play at FedEx. And I'm talking, I watched John Beck. I watched all those dudes. And I've just never seen a dude look like he had just picked up the Madden controller for the first time in his life. Like, for him, he needs a psychologist because that's the only thing I can think of. And so, Pick, to your point, like, I think they were just hoping to harness whatever he did with the Eagles, and it clearly didn't work. And what's funny, though, they ended up not really giving up a lot. They traded the 2/3, but they got a third back in the Dotson trade down because remember they traded down when the Saints wanted Olave, and then they get a third back with Sheriff walking and a compensatory pick.
Yeah, but you still gave up enough because, like, one of the things that we told him was we were going to protect him, but when we signed him, you lost. Your two guards are gone because you let Sheriff walk, and then you bring in two guys off the street that probably should not be on the team next year. I hope. I'm gonna have to check and make sure that they're not on the team this year. So you literally told the guy, hey, you know what? We're gonna protect you here, and then you gave him a worse offensive line. Yeah. One guy retired on us and didn't even tell us. He was there collecting a check every week.
Yeah, I mean, that was a mistake. Like, Ron, I think his biggest flaw is roster construction. Like, he went on a wing on a prayer for that offensive line last year. He went off the scrap heap after losing an all-pro at guard, and it backfired. There was no plan there. We had Sam Cosmi playing guard one drive and then playing tackle the next drive. Like, when it comes to the roster construction, Ron has failed in a certain amount of areas.
No, he probably just forgot they were there.
Pretty much like the playoff situation. So you're talking roster construction. So we cut Bobby McCain. All right. Do you think that is to save money or because Percy Butler should be better? You still got Defoe back there, who him and Cam Curl playing together was amazing. Defoe hits anything that moves. Cam Curl just wants to wake up and hit people. I think Cam Curl tackled his mom this morning when he woke up. I'm pretty sure. I think his dad put that on. I think his dad tweeted that out this morning.
Why would you say that? That's not nice.
Hey, she jumped off sides and she was coming across the middle.
She jumped off sides.
Yeah, quarterback threw it up. Mom's sorry, got to take you out.
Pick. You need a nap. As soon as we get off of here, you need a nap.
You're probably right. Okay.
He tackled his mom.
So these safeties, was it a cost cutting thing, or do you think these safeties are ready to roll?
I think they're ready to go. If I'm being completely honest, like there's so much youth in that DB room. That's one thing Ron I think has done pretty well. Actually, is when he finds like some young players, he lets them develop, and that hasn't been the case here always. And I think it's Butler, that's Defoe, that's having a veteran like Fuller around, because I think McCain, like, to be honest, I think he was just kind of like a veteran leader back there. Like, you kind of just need one or two of those in the room. But I think now, like what we saw flash last year, I think they'll be all right. Like, I think this is the youth movement happening at the safety position. And who knows, they could also draft one, mid rounds, later rounds, whatever, and keep developing. Because I think they're pretty good at developing.
I think that we lost our secondary coach. I think that our secondary coach was a monster. I really do. I thought that if we let Jack go, that he would be the defensive coordinator. We lost him to Tennessee because Ron didn't know that his contract was expiring. Could you see us drafting a corner and moving Fuller to a safety position or back into the slot?
I'd probably say put him back in the slot. I've never seen him as a safety. Like, I just don't think he's got that physicality to play safety.
He did that with Kansas City.
Was he safety in Kansas City?
Yeah, they moved. Fuller was a chess piece in Kansas City.
Okay, all right.
He played slot. He played outside. He played safety. He was a chess piece. Everybody thought it was just the Honey Badger, but it was Fuller also.
Fair enough. I mean, maybe that's their plan then. Maybe that's why they cut McCain. Because I think first 2 rounds you have to go offensive line and corner. Whichever better one is on the board both those rounds, I think that's the way Washington goes. And it's all right, we took a cornerback first round. We're going, interior lineman second, or, if they want to get a tackle, that'd be great. But either way, I think, yes, absolutely. Like, corner is going to be drafted, I think, early for them.
Who's the top corner on your board?
I don't know. I haven't looked enough.
There's a young man that plays in Penn State, Joey Porter Jr. I would love to have him. Big, tall, as just like Ant likes him. Big, tall, and strong. Pause.
Say what now?
Anyway,
what?
Who exactly is Sam going to be competing with for a starting position?
Great question, Ant.
It's a good question. We actually talked about it on Bram's show today. We went through every free agent veteran quarterback, and like the market this year is the pits. Like,
it's dry. It's bone dry.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty bad. I think they just re-signed Heineke, and then maybe they bring in like we were talking today. Like, do you bring in like Mike White? Just to have like just like a third,
Heineke.
just like a third guy. Like, I'm just saying, like
I got one.
Who?
And why he got to compete with somebody for the number 1 spot for QB1?
Oh yeah, Ron said that today.
Why does he have to compete with someone for QB1 though? For real? I don't think he should compete with anyone. I mean, some teams have rookies coming in and they're QB1. I feel like Sam can get QB1. I do agree. Bring Heineke back. A lot of people are not checking for Heineke, which I still feel kind of bad because he's a good backup.
But you know what though? You know why it's not a bad move now? Because I think in one game he showed you he's far and above better than Taylor Heineke. It's his job to lose, really.
Yeah.
I think, and the reason, and you asked me the question, and I'm thinking, and I'm like, well, to be honest, why would he be competing for QB1 for the same reason he didn't play till game 1? Ron Rivera didn't take his meds. Like,
that's a great observation because he did the same thing with Taylor, really, right? Taylor comes in the year before, he pretty much saves your butt, right?
We know pretty much he did.
He saves your butt. You don't give him a shot. In fact, you bring in a guy and you pay him $28 million, which automatically makes him the default starter, right? You don't invest in him, and then you don't bring up Sam, right?
Well, no, then you bring in a rookie.
So now we're talking about bringing in a veteran, which, back to the money issues, you can't afford to go out and get a David Carr. You can't afford to go out and get an Aaron Rodgers, right? So now, if you move up in the draft, can you really afford that signing bonus, right? And your first round pick, because of the situation that you're in, you have to win. Because Ron's been on this path before, where you have a new owner and you don't perform, and that owner fires you midway through the season, and now we have Eric Bieniemy as a offensive coordinator. Could he be moving to that?
An assistant coach.
An assistant head coach. Could he move into that job? So, and with what you're saying, and I believe you give him every opportunity to, which is what Ron said. He is QB1. He's not the starter yet. He has to earn the point of being the starter.
But the circumstances based off of the logic you explained are different, mainly because he picked Carson. You see what I'm saying? Taylor coming in relief to help is great, but it seems like nobody was sold on them except the players. You know what I'm saying?
Taylor has more wins than the last two quarterbacks you put in front of him.
But he's talking about other teams and whether or not people see value. It is different when the players see the value in you, but nobody's office, no coaches are seeing the value in you. So that affects your pocket.
You know, 100% agree with what y'all are saying. But what I'm saying to y'all is Taylor has more wins than Ryan Fitzpatrick, who you put in front of him. Taylor has more wins than Carson Wentz, who you put in front of him. And now you're talking about bringing in somebody else to possibly put in front of Sam Howell. You're always looking at the grass.
I don't think they should though. I don't think they shouldn't.
He's literally a bigger, stronger, faster, more accurate version of Taylor Heineke.
Yeah. That's not afraid to run though. That's not afraid to run.
It's easy to see. Well, he's built like a Lego man, so I hope he's not. No, I'm serious. I think this. You know, they have that big head. It's like attached to his shoulders.
I liked it. I like what he said. He's built like a Lego man.
He has a big head with no neck.
No, he has no neck. He's all
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, it goes straight at the shoulders. But but no. So basically, all I'm saying is you still have to be leery with Ron because he's not shown the best, ability to assess. You know what I'm saying? Right. And then it brings me to this. When you go back to when he was in Carolina, right? They go to the Super Bowl, all of that. How early was he around for the start of Cam? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, he drafted Cam
the whole time.
So that means that he is just fine if the talent is already there. Because then what he has to do is minimize. So if Sam is able to step in and be that guy, and then Eric does his job, he can sit pretty because that seems like the best role for him to be in. Mm-hmm. But if he has to do anything extra and he delegate, you see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, he's been successful before, but even in that scenario, how much of it was his sauce versus those coordinators, Cam, that team coming together at the right time, really having the talent to draft everything coming. So I'm just kind of thinking about that. I think that's a pretty interesting thing to kind of think about because it doesn't seem like he's changed much in his approach.
And you ever been on a speed date?
No.
Lady A, you ever been on a speed date?
No, somebody tried to get me to go, but I wouldn't do it.
We're about to speed date with Mike right now because we have him for about another 15 minutes. All right. So we have some things to cover. So we have baseball to cover. We have hockey, and I'll sneak in some WWE. Okay. All right. So, So, baseball, Mike. Do you like the new rules? If so, which rule do you like the most, and which one do you like the least?
I mean, I think we got to go with this pitch clock, right? Like this is all the drama over the weekend that they actually ended games over a strike three on this pitch clock.
Right.
These times, though, like I watched a lot of baseball. I watched both the Nats and the Orioles. The average game time over this weekend, I think, was like 2.5 hours.
Yes,
236. 236, I think, was the average.
Right.
The longest game, I think, was like 3 hours.
And it was a high-scoring game.
Yeah. If we get to that point where baseball is done like hockey, like a flat 2.5 hours, minus like, extra innings, overtime, all that stuff, I think we're in a way better spot here when it comes down to it. Like,
that's good.
I watched a video last night, and it was one pitch in like the 2018 playoffs. I think it was the Cubs, and it took 3 minutes to throw one pitch in a certain scenario in the game, like between the pitch back, the batter stepping out, the pitcher stepping off, getting rid of all of this. I think I'm all for it. I don't really have a least favorite rule though. Like I'm fine with everything they've done so far. Like bigger bases too. I'm fine with it. Like, you know what? Like if they're trying to modernize the game, I'm all right with it.
Mama said go big or go home. Go ahead.
What about when they add the basketball hoop that you got to dunk the ball? It's a lot of. As long as we talk about new roles, I'm gonna throw in basketball references.
Basketball.
Get ready for it. Have you ever seen Basketball, the movie?
They hide a hoop on one outfield wall. You just got to find it, in each stadium. That's what they're going to start doing.
Right.
Oh, man.
Go ahead, Ant. Get in there. You got a question?
He just
No.
answered.
Okay.
Oh,
Lady A.
So what do you think about this? How do you think these new rules are going to affect stealing bases?
Oh, I think we're about to have a clinic. Like, I think we're going to have so many stolen bases now. Like, I think this is the reason why Trey Turner got all the money in Philly. Like, the Phillies were going, all right, if we're going to have this pitch clock thing where it's going to stress the pitchers out enough that they can't throw over every 5 seconds, we're going to sign the, most electric base stealer in the game right now, and Trey Turner. And, like, good luck when he gets on base. Like, even when he was with the Nationals,
Yes.
my name for him was chaos, because the second he got on the base paths, the pitcher's stressing out like crazy, because he's like, if I just pause for a second, he's off, he's running, like, and he's screwed. So I think, we're going to have like a whole uptick of base stealing. And you're going to actually see, I think what's going to be more fun is you're going to see some more athletes get a better shot and try to make some of these rosters, because it's just going to be like, you just need to get on base, and we're going to use you.
So
When you look,
go ahead.
When you look at the Nationals, like, I was just thinking about this. They were able to go win a title. They were able to acquire a lot of talent over time. I know with the sale, all that stuff, it could be a lot of moving parts, but are they showing any signs of being able to start that process over? Because they've been gutted, essentially. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And it didn't seem like they got much bang for their buck either. So
it was the Juan Soto trade that's going to save them if they all work out. Like, I have heard in spring training this year that it is like the most talented top to bottom they've ever been, but like knowing they have 18, 19, 20-year-olds, like they know they're not going to play right now, but they're looking at them and basically saying, if all of these dudes work out, we're going to be back to where we were before. I think the World Series screwed up a lot of people's vision of the Nats. Mm-hmm. They won it in a year where they were actually finished. Like, they shouldn't have won it that year. They did, and it put everyone's expectations out of whack afterwards. And they happened to do it with Juan Soto, who was really young, who even they would have told you they didn't think he was going to be that good. And they look at their farm system because they failed on all these top picks. Like, they did not have a first-round pick play, I think, since, like, it was something like Rendon was the only everyday guy, and then they got contributions elsewhere, but those guys weren't even that good. So they basically used Juan Soto to replenish the farm system. They won it, though, and that screwed everyone up, thinking, oh, my God, we got Scherzer, we got Turner, we got Rendon. Except Rendon, if you had signed him, that wouldn't have worked out. He's barely played for the Angels since then. Strasburg, obviously, that one failed on you. He's only pitched like 10 games since the World Series even happened. Mm-hmm. And then you have a guy like Turner who ended up getting you, a combination of Keibert Ruiz, who's your now everyday starting catcher, who they haven't had actually since Wilson Ramos. That's been like 5, 6, 7 years since Ramos has been here. Yeah. And you get Josiah Gray, who should be a solid pitcher. But to answer your question, yes, like they have all this talent. They just have to go through the growing pains. But I've also said people, I've heard people laud them to say they did the tough thing. They didn't just pay guys a bunch of money to pay them a bunch of money and have them lose on a team where they're the only guys that are actually doing anything.
Yeah. The Caps. The Caps have pretty much been sellers. They sold again today.
Yep.
Are they doing the same thing that the Nats are doing, which is just acquiring picks so that they can come back in a bang so that Ovi is actually playing for something with some good guys? Or do you think they're going to use a lot of these picks that they're stockpiling to acquire other players and build the team back up through like free agency for hockey?
This is a retool. They were hurt all year long. TJ Oshie got hurt for a while. Connor Brown, who's supposed to be a top 6 forward, I think I was on like the day after he got hurt. He got hurt for the year, 2 games into the season. Yeah. They've been going through so many injuries and just haven't been able to catch up. But it's kind of like a perfect storm. They have so many contracts that are up that they're just starting to sell those guys as rentals. And you might even be able to bring some of them back in the offseason. Like, I look at Dmitry Orlov, who's been here since 2009, like been here forever. They traded him with Garnet Hathaway, got a first-round pick back, another player, and a second and a third, I think it was.
Yep.
They already flipped that first-round pick with one of their rentals for a 22-year-old defenseman who's really good from Toronto. Like, they're doing this thing on the fly and building up their roster already for next year. And honestly, when it comes to the Caps, it's like the opposite of the Commanders. Whatever they do, I just trust it. Like, they've been so good for so long. I just know better than to even like try to fathom like what the long-term plan is, because I've seen them do it before, and they've missed the playoffs one time since 2008. Like one time. And so this will be time number 2 since that first year they got in with Ovi. They get the benefit of the doubt. They should get the benefit of the doubt from everybody because they've just been so good for so long. It's going to be tough here. Like, they're all getting older. Like, Backstrom had hip surgery. That's never good. Like, and any athlete, whatever.
Right.
But hopefully he can, get it going as well. Ovechkin's going to do his thing. You just got to hope there's some youth movement here that you can surround Ovechkin with, that he gets that record. And when he gets the record, it's going to be a relief once he does it, because then you can kind of start running your hockey team back the way you want it to be run, in terms of not just keeping this one guy happy. But let me be clear. Like, they should keep him happy. This record's going to be the biggest thing this franchise ever does. So they should be running things a little bit differently. And this is just a retool. Like, they're just trying to build up for next year, not for 2, 3, 4 years down the line.
Tom Wilson, is he one that'll be gone soon? Or I think Tom is a keeper too.
Nah, he's future captain. As soon as Ovechkin leaves, he's got the C on his jersey. Like, he is going to be the next leader of this team, and he's one of the few untouchable. They would never trade him for anything.
Right? Yeah. So we got to say what's up to Stiller Queen Coco. She said, "Hey, Lady A Pixie and resident big body Cinnabon Ant. What's good, first thing?" So yeah, listen, stop pumping Ant's head up. Just All right.
Me and Coco gotta understand it. It ain't, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got, don't even worry about it. You know
okay. But I do have a quick question. Do you think anything would prevent Ovi? And I'm knocking on wood because I don't want anything to prevent him from getting this record. Do you think anything would? Do you see anything standing in his way?
Outside of injuries, no.
Goalies.
Yeah, right.
Goalies, of course.
It's funny, like, if there's one thing he can do, it's stand on that Ovechkin spot and let a slap shot rip, and it still works. Like, as long as he can do that, as long as he stays healthy, he moves a little bit, like, they'll be all right. Like, they just need someone to dish it to him fast enough that he's able to get those shots off. But largely, there's no reason why he shouldn't break it. He's ahead of schedule already since he signed on his new deal.
Look, as Pick said, a goalie. I would hate to be that goalie that he scores on for the record. You're in the record books now.
I disagree because if they don't forget him, they don't forget me.
Exactly, just like the pitcher that laid up Barry Bonds' home run.
Mike Bassick. Yep.
Bassick. He's a Texas guy.
I'm living in infamy.
Yeah, I remember him, so that's bad.
Yeah, I am a Jeopardy question.
I didn't know him until he
then
on radio. No,
so you'll be okay to be known for that. You'll be okay.
100%.
Somebody got to give it up.
He's oh wow. Well, pause, man.
What?
No, showed up, so nope.
No, okay. You say Coco showed up, so no, he's just gonna give it up. I got you. Yeah, no corners here.
But but seriously, somebody has to give up that record, though. You know what I'm saying? So it's
for sure.
Hey, you try your best to make sure you pass it to the next guy, but if you don't, you just tip your hat, man. The work he's put in, you know what I'm saying? He deserves it. So
yeah,
the funniest part with them too is when he was about to pass Gordie Howe. I think it was 802 or 803. The team started playing him tougher. Like all of a sudden, they'd get a power play and they'd have two guys go over and make sure he wasn't scoring that goal.
Right.
And so, like, when he finally got through at the empty netter, I was like, oh, this dude's about to score like 3 or 4 more goals because it's life was about to become easier. So to your point, like, yes, I don't think anyone minds giving it up, but they were trying even harder to not be that person. Yep. That's what ended up happening.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. WWE will be in DC on Friday. Are you going?
I'm not.
You're not going. So listen, Lady A was going to make you a special sign that said First String Podcast is here. She's going to put some glitter on it for you.
You don't want me to do that because, I am all Samoan Empire. So, yeah.
Honorary Oos over there. Is that what's going on?
She's a Oos.
My people are. That's my people. I'm trying to tell you, I'm going to go for Samoan Empire all day. I don't care.
Yeah, they're having problems right now. Plus the dreams coming. So, yeah, the bloodline is breaking up.
Hey,
All right.
not
Team
really.
Sammy over here. Team Sammy all the
Team
way.
Sammy. Team Sammy. Okay, so what is this year? WrestleMania is about a little more than like 60 days away or something like that, right? A little less.
Yeah.
What matchup are you most looking forward to that hasn't been announced yet?
Oh, well, that hasn't been announced yet, dude.
Yeah,
I don't even know what hasn't been announced. What are you talking about, man?
Like there are only a couple of matches that
You're
have been
trying to
announced.
get him to tell
Okay,
you
so-
his secrets.
You got to give me a couple of them because I don't read the dirt sheets like you do.
Okay, so you got Charlotte Flair facing Rhea Ripley.
Okay.
Cody Rhodes facing
Roman.
But
that's been announced.
Right, that's been announced. John Cena is showing back up. John Cena showing up Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, not Friday. I'm sorry, in Boston.
On Raw.
In Boston on Raw. Yeah, and him and A-Town down. Oh my God, I forget his name right now. I don't like him.
Fair enough.
Those two are supposed to go at it, and
Sammy and KO, they're going against the Usos, right?
Yes, and I have a feeling that The Rock is going to show up at WrestleMania this year.
I don't.
He has this XFL stuff going on.
He's finished, man. Like I think everyone's got to let that go. Like I just think he's never coming back.
I mean, if he showed up, it would just be a cameo, but I feel like he's so serious about the XFL right now.
I think he's showing up just to tell Roman, you sit at the head of the table, you better get this family right. That type of deal.
I mean, that's a cameo, but I would love that. I would love for my cousin Dwayne to be there. But I mean, I think Roman can get it together.
I think I would if I had to fantasy book it, it would be this. Rock comes out, says exactly what Pick said. You got to get the family right. He loses to Cody, and The Rock says, you got a year to get ready for me. Like, you got a year to get ready for me.
Timeline.
Because you couldn't get the family right. See you in a year at WrestleMania in Philly.
And
that way you at least get him promoting it for an entire year, and it's not just like a run-in.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's nice. So the Rooster is going to SmackDown on Friday.
Oh,
yeah, the Rooster's going. He's been talking about it for a while, and he's trying to get out to WrestleMania. So there's your hookup for WrestleMania, Mike. So that's out west. You just got to talk to Bram about being late for the show.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Right. Mike, man, we really want to thank you. I tried to keep it under an hour with you.
You're good.
I appreciate it. Like anytime I call Mike is there. So Mike, here's the final question from everyone that really wants to know. So baseball this year with all the new changes and everything, we should be betting overs all day, right?
I would say so. Yes, absolutely. Overs, unless we got to see with some of these pitchers. I think we're going to see some pitchers all of a sudden flourish with these fast pitch count.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if you saw the other day, Max Scherzer was like, I love it. I'm in control now. Like, I get to step in. You got to face me. I think we're going to see some pitchers go crazy and not do so well. But I think the dude's built like Scherzer. All of a sudden, it's going to be like they're going to be like a quarterback. They're going to be in control now. And so let 2 or 3 weeks go into the season, and then I think we'll start figuring out who's got the new stuff down pat.
Yeah.
So hold on, wait. So here's my other question for you. Will we see more injuries to pitchers with this faster pitch count? Because that was one of the things that happened down in the minors, right? Was these guys started getting injured really fast.
I think you're going to see a little bit of that at the beginning. But if I know anything, athletic trainers now, they all have the cheat codes. They're all going to figure out how to keep these dudes warm, whether they put, the icy hot on, whether they put a heating pad. Like, I think there's going to be a correction. I think so. Yes. I think you're going to see some injuries at the beginning, but I think athletics now, the way it works, everyone figures out the cheat code to keep these guys healthy. That's what's eventually going to happen.
It's Cliff Lee at his hay. Like, when Cliff Lee had his short window where he dominated, took us to the World Series. I've never seen anybody do that. It was the most amazing thing, and and hitters had no way of adapting to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, you talk about really if you're a guy who has good stuff, it can move, pause.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's going to happen too is you're going to see some batters that also do better with this too. Like, I think baseball players, they all get inside their own heads at some point, right? And you get guys that slump. Well, you tell me how you're going to slump when you screw up and then you got to be ready 15 seconds later. Like I think you're going to see it's the same thing as I just said with the pitchers. I think you're going to see some hitters all of a sudden. It's just going to click because they can't even think about what they just did wrong. Mm-hmm. And I think you might see some other hitters that, have to redo the gloves, do the wristbands, do the elbow thing. Yeah. They can't do that anymore and take the second to pause. So I think it's just going to be interesting to see who actually flourishes under this and who actually falters.
Last two questions. These are from Sid. He just mentally texted me. And he said, who wins the World Series and who do you think is the MVP of the year?
Wow.
World Series? Man, I mean.
That's a long ways away.
I haven't seen anyone play yet. Come on, man. Just because they're always there, give me the Dodgers. Like they're just always knocking on the door. And I feel like they're so dominant, people don't talk about them enough anymore. Like they are really good every regular season, and when they don't win, everyone shuts up about them for a while. So give me the Dodgers. And MVP, give me Ohtani. Just why not?
Why not? I mean, he's going to do everything. He's going to bat and he's going to pitch. This could be his year.
And Aaron Judge isn't going to do what he did last year. Like, period. There's no way he does what he did last year all over again. So
he won't have time to think.
It's true.
No,
it's true. Exactly.
He won't have no time to think. So, hey, that's Mike Callow. You can listen to him and Bram Weinstein on Big 100.
No, ESPN 630.
ESPN 630. I don't know why I said Big 100. Man, the games are on Big 100. The games are on Big 100. Oh my God. Yeah,
you said it with uncertainty.
Yeah, because it's big. I was like, the games are over on. Yeah, you're right. That's what the games are. All right, don't tell Bram I messed that up.
All good. It's all good.
Did you tell Bram that you were coming on here today?
I did. Yeah.
So he's probably watching. Yeah, that's good.
Maybe
he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to tell him.
Yeah, he's already watching. Yeah, he's not in the chat. That's for sure. Bram's not in the chat. He's not in the chat. But Mike, man, we really do appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming by, giving us a Nats update, a Wizards update, telling us what you liked about baseball's new rules. And
of course,
like I said, for some unknown reason, when we have guests, we have the right guests for the right time here. Like I asked Mike to come on Sunday, and everything broke for us last night.
It's true. So, absolutely. Appreciate it, guys.
We appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
All right. Have a good one.
You too. See ya.
All right. That is Mike Callow. And y'all know, let me fix this real fast. Okay. Hey, that was Mike Callow. So, man, we appreciate each and every one of y'all. And tell us about Siri. Tell us what she did to you today.
That's on a need to know basis, sir.
Oh,
okay. All right, yeah, you're right.
Well, he's not telling his secrets. That's right.
Siri had
never tells what Siri does to him.
Wait a minute.
I don't know what his deal is with Siri anyway. I don't listen. I think I always hit you with some random stuff. We backstage just 15 seconds left. He's like, "Hey, who else knows Sweet out of line?" You be like, "Come on, man."
I gotta keep y'all loose backstage, man. You know how that goes. I give y'all a little clue, and then I just go. Boom. It's off and running. Hey, man, listen, we appreciate each and every one of y'all for hanging in there with us today. Thank you again to our guest, Mike Callow. I am trying to line up someone from the NFL Combine for Thursday's show. I can't promise you I'm going to get them. They just said if things keep happening the way they are, I'm going to be way too busy. But if things calm down, I may be able to give you a couple of minutes. So I'm trying. I'm efforting, but if you don't, you'll have our smiling faces on Thursday. All right, says not here, Ant. You got to do it. All right,
boy, you got me bit. I will not.
What? Oh, look.
Oh, I thought you.
I'm not Bruce.
Saying
that. Bruce has got it. All right,
I'll do my thing.
All right, shout out to my son. United States Air Force, First Ring Podcast, second to none. Said didn't tell us so. Bruce did. He said, "Go Dogs."
Ready for your beats? My first time to the person.